Seniors, stop. These 2 vitamins that quietly weaken your legs after 60. Have your legs started to feel heavier lately? Maybe not all the time, but just enough to notice. Perhaps you found yourself pausing halfway up the stairs, catching your breath. Or you've stood up from the couch and felt your knees whisper a protest, just a little ache that wasn't there before. The hallway you used to breeze through, it now feels a few steps longer, and when you look back, you ask yourself quietly, is this just what aging feels like? If that sounds familiar, you're far from alone. Thousands of older adults, active, thoughtful, vibrant people are waking up every day wondering the same thing. Why do my legs feel weaker? It starts so subtly. A missed step, a bit of stiffness after standing too long, a wobble on a morning walk. And the temptation is to shrug it off, chalk it up to the number on your birth certificate. But what if that's not the full story? What if the real cause of your weakening legs isn't just age, but what's on your plate? Or even what's in your supplement drawer? Yes, the very foods you trust and the vitamins you think are helping you might actually be making your legs feel older than they are. This isn't just theory, it's science. 2 specific vitamins believed by millions of seniors to be essential for strong bones and flexible joints may actually be silently working against you when taken in the wrong way. And chances are they're sitting on your kitchen counter right now. Now no one's blaming you. You've been trying to do everything right. You read labels, you take your supplements. You try to eat better, move more. But despite your best efforts, you might be stuck in a cycle that's slowly draining your muscle strength without a single warning sign. It's a quiet process. A teaspoon of inflammation here, a vitamin your body can't absorb there. A small food habit repeated again and again. Over time, it adds up. It becomes that soft ache in your thighs, that hesitation before rising from a chair, that growing reliance on railings, walking sticks, or shorter distances. But here's the thing, this isn't irreversible. You have far more control than you've been led to believe, and understanding the truth behind these everyday choices might just be the key to getting your strength back. Let's start with something simple, something that feels innocent, even joyful. Desserts, cookies after lunch, that morning muffin, a slice of apple pie shared with your grandkids on a Sunday afternoon. These moments bring comfort, they bring connection, but inside your body something very different may be happening, because these treats made with refined sugars and flours can do more than raise your blood sugar. They can trigger inflammation, interrupt muscle repair, and quietly sap your strength. You see, once we pass the age of 60, our bodies change in more ways than we realize. Muscle recovery slows, nutrient absorption becomes less efficient, hormonal balance shifts, and our tolerance for sugar, especially the processed kind, drops dramatically. But sugar is just the beginning. In the next part of this journey, we'll explore those 2 surprising vitamins nearly every senior takes and why they may be doing more harm than good. You'll also learn how certain healthy habits could be sabotaging your leg strength, one bite, one step, one supplement at a time. Because the truth is, aging isn't the enemy, but losing strength without understanding why. That's something we can change starting right now. After uncovering the hidden risks of those everyday vitamins, it's only fair we take a closer look at what's happening on your plate. Let's go back to something sweet, those comforting desserts, cookies, pastries, or that slice of cake after dinner. They seem innocent enough, a small indulgence, a reward at the end of a long day. But once you pass 60, sugar begins to play a very different game, one that quietly chips away at your strength, especially in your legs. You see, refined sugar triggers a chain reaction in the body that's far more damaging than we've been led to believe. It doesn't just spike your blood sugar, it sparks inflammation, the silent fire beneath so many chronic conditions. And for your legs, that means inflamed joints, tight muscles, and a growing sense of weakness that no amount of stretching seems to solve. That inflammation doesn't stop at discomfort. It also disrupts your body's ability to use insulin properly. Think of insulin as the key that opens the door for glucose to enter your muscles, fuel for energy, strength, and repair. But when sugar floods the system too often, your cells stop listening. Insulin resistance sets in, and suddenly your muscles are starving for energy, even though you've just eaten. That's when you start to notice the little things, legs that feel heavier after a walk, knees that ache going up the stairs, a strange soreness after simply standing too long. It's not always aging, it's the sugar. Then there's the added weight. Sugar doesn't just slow you down on the inside, it adds pounds on the outside. Extra weight puts relentless pressure on your joints, your knees, hips, ankles, grinding them down step after step, day after day. It's a recipe for chronic fatigue, instability, and eventually dependence on others. And what's worse, those sugary snacks offer almost nothing in return. No protein to build muscle, no magnesium to support your joints, no anti-inflammatory nutrients to calm the storm, just empty calories that do one thing: weaken your legs and leave you wondering why you don't feel like yourself anymore. But here's the truth you need to hear. You don't have to quit sweets forever. You just need to choose them with wisdom. Craving dessert? Swap that store-bought cookie for a bowl of fresh berries sprinkled with cinnamon. Bake your own oat-based treats with banana or dates as a natural sweetener. Want a rich flavor? Try a square of dark chocolate with real cocoa, rich in antioxidants that support rather than sabotage. Small swaps can lead to big results because it's not about denial. It's about defense, protecting your legs, your freedom, and your independence. Now let's talk about something many of us grew up loving: fried foods. That golden crunch, that warm, salty flavor from crispy chicken to French fries, these foods are baked into our memories. But after 60, what they do to your body is anything but comforting. Fried foods are loaded with saturated fats and often trans fats, two of the biggest culprits behind systemic inflammation. These fats clog your arteries, restrict blood flow, and stiffen your joints. When blood can't flow freely, your muscles can't get the oxygen and nutrients they need to function. That means every step becomes more draining. Recovery takes longer, and your legs begin to feel heavy, bloated, and sore, not because you overdid it, but because your body is fighting what you ate. Even worse, these meals offer little nutritional value. There's no protein to rebuild muscle, no anti-inflammatory compounds to reduce joint pain, just grease, starch, and inflammation in every bite. It doesn't stop there. Fried foods have been shown in numerous studies to directly increase the risk of chronic conditions like heart disease and type 2 diabetes, both of which are closely tied to muscle wasting and mobility loss. One large-scale study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that regular consumption of fried foods correlated with significantly reduced lower limb strength in adults over 65. So what can you do instead? The solution isn't complicated, it's just cleaner. Instead of frying your chicken, bake it. Use an air fryer to achieve the same satisfying crunch with a fraction of the fat. Roast your vegetables instead of battering them. Try olive oil, herbs, and garlic instead of salt and lard. These choices still bring flavor, but without the damage. Now let's move to the breakfast table. White bread, soft, warm, nostalgic. Maybe toasted, buttered, or stacked into a sandwich. But here's the problem. White bread is made from refined flour that's been stripped of nearly every beneficial nutrient. No fiber, no protein, no minerals, just fast-burning carbs that convert to sugar almost instantly in your bloodstream. And just like those desserts, this sugar surge sets off the same metabolic chaos. A spike, a crash, and in the crash, your muscles are left empty, depleted of fuel, and starving for strength. Over time, white bread doesn't just slow your energy. It messes with your body's insulin sensitivity, disrupts your metabolism, and makes it harder for your muscles to hold on to mass. So if you've ever felt shaky between meals, unusually tired in the late morning, or noticed that your legs feel weaker by lunchtime, this might be why. But the fix? It's beautifully simple. Swap white bread for whole grain varieties. Try sprouted grain oat or rye breads that digest, slowly provide lasting energy, and offer the fiber and minerals your muscles need. Better yet, pair your toast with protein, like an egg hummus or cottage cheese. These combinations keep your blood sugar stable and your legs feeling supported. In the next chapter, we'll continue diving into the silent saboteurs hiding in your diet, including one that's likely in your refrigerator right now, disguised as a source of comfort, but quietly draining your strength. Stay with me. Now that we've peeled back the layers on sugar-fried foods, white bread, and alcohol, let's continue with something that might be sitting quietly in your fridge right now. It's morning. You're making a sandwich. Maybe lunch is just a few slices of ham or turkey rolled up with cheese. Easy, fast, no mess. But what if that convenience is costing you more than you realize? What if that thin slice of bacon or deli meat is actually tightening your joints, weakening your legs, and draining your strength one bite at a time? Processed meats, sausages, bacon, ham, hot dogs, and deli slices have become a go-to for busy lives. They're salty, flavorful, and shelf-stable. But here's what makes them dangerous, especially after age 60. These meats are saturated with sodium and chemical preservatives like nitrates and nitrites. These aren't just additives to preserve freshness or color, they're inflammatory agents. Once inside the body, they trigger low-grade inflammation that doesn't go away. This inflammation doesn't just hover in the background. It settles deep into your joints, your muscles, your connective tissues. Ever wake up and feel like your knees need a few minutes to wake up too? Or notice your legs feel heavier after sitting for a while? That stiffness, that slow start, it might not be age. It might be your breakfast sausage talking back. And there's more. Processed meats are high in saturated fats, and some even contain traces of trans fats, the worst kind for your blood vessels. These fats clog your arteries, restrict circulation, and limit oxygen and nutrient delivery to your lower limbs. When your legs aren't getting proper blood flow, your muscles weaken, they tire out faster, they recover slower, and over time, they shrink. Now think about what happens when poor circulation is paired with high sodium. Your body starts retaining water, your legs swell, your joints ache, your ankles feel tight by the afternoon, and yet you're just eating what you've always eaten. Even worse, these processed foods offer very little nutritional value. They're low in real complete protein. Often they're bulked up with fillers, starches, and cheap cuts of meat that dilute the quality of amino acids your body needs to rebuild and maintain muscle. Let's not forget hydration. High sodium content from deli meats silently pulls water out of your muscle cells. That leads to cramps, fatigue, and over time, a heightened risk of injury. Dehydrated muscle fibers are less elastic, less responsive, and more prone to strains or tears. And you may not even feel thirsty. You might just feel tired, a little shaky, or like your balance isn't what it used to be. So what can you do? Go back to basics. You don't have to become a gourmet chef overnight, but a few thoughtful swaps can change everything. Instead of deli meats, opt for fresh cuts, roast chicken breast, grilled turkey, a soft-boiled egg. Even canned tuna in olive oil is a better choice. These are whole food proteins your body recognizes proteins that rebuild and repair, not break you down. If you love the convenience of sliced meats, cook a large batch of lean protein and store it in the fridge for easy use. Don't forget plant-based options. Lentils, chickpeas, beans, even tofu all provide the essential building blocks your muscles need. Combine them with healthy fats like avocado walnuts or olive oil, and you've got a meal that nourishes and strengthens from the inside out. Your legs aren't asking for magic. They're asking for circulation, for oxygen, for fuel. They're asking for better choices. Because after 60, strength doesn't just come from dumbbells or treadmills, it comes from the decisions you make at the table. It's in your breakfast. It's in your lunchbox. It's in that small, ordinary choice between cold cuts or grilled chicken. Now, as we continue this journey, the biggest surprise is just around the corner. You've heard about the foods, but what if I told you there are 2 vitamins? Yes, vitamins that many seniors take every single day, that may be silently weakening their legs. We're not done yet. The most unexpected culprits are still to come. Stay with me, because what you discover next may completely change the way you move, recover, and age. As we've seen, when blood flow is restricted, whether from sodium fats or preservatives, your muscles don't get the oxygen, nutrients, or hydration they need to function. But that's just one piece of the puzzle. Because what you eat every day doesn't just affect how you feel in the moment, it shapes your long-term mobility and independence. When your circulation suffers, so does your recovery. Your muscles don't bounce back after simple exertion. You take longer to recover from a walk around the block. You feel sore longer after light chores. Your legs feel heavier, stiffer. What's happening isn't just normal aging. It's nutritional erosion, slow, silent, and avoidable. Here's the better path: lean, clean, whole proteins. Grilled chicken, roasted turkey, baked fish like salmon or cod. Even a couple of soft-boiled eggs can provide your body with what it needs to rebuild, not break down. These proteins reduce inflammation rather than fuel it. They nourish your legs with strength, not salt. But sometimes the foods that do the most damage aren't even the ones we think of as indulgent. Let's talk about instant noodles. They're warm, comforting, quick, and incredibly harmful to older bodies. You've probably had them before on a rushed day. maybe as a nostalgic favorite. But instant noodles are built from refined white flour devoid of fiber and loaded with chemical preservatives. One packet often contains over 1,000 milligrams of sodium. That's more than half of your recommended daily limit in a single bowl. What happens next? Your legs tell the story. That excess sodium pulls water out of your muscles and into tissue. You feel bloated, ankles swell, your thighs feel heavier, puffier. And then there's MSG monosodium glutamate, the flavor enhancer added to many noodle brands. While it makes the soup taste rich, it can wreak havoc on your nervous system, contributing to fatigue, headaches, and even tingling or numbness in the limbs. These symptoms aren't coincidences, they're messages. Your body is trying to tell you it's overwhelmed. And yet, despite all this, instant noodles provide almost no nutritional benefit, no meaningful protein, no supportive minerals, no lasting energy. Your muscles are running on empty, while your bloodstream is swimming in sodium. So what's the better choice? Try soba or brown rice noodles. Pair them with bone broth, leafy greens, and lean protein. In just 10 minutes, you can make something that tastes better and supports your strength without the crash. Now, let's talk about a treat that smells like birthdays, childhood parties, and family gatherings: store-bought cake. Yes, that perfectly frosted pastel swirled slice you find in bakery aisles and grocery stores. The sugar, the cream, the comfort, it's like a hug from the past. But beneath the sweet exterior lies a chemical cocktail of refined sugars, hydrogenated oils, and synthetic preservatives. These aren't just empty calories, they're active threats to your legs. The sugar spikes your blood sugar, then crashes it, leaving your muscles weak and depleted. Hydrogenated oils, trans fats, are used to make those cakes shelf-stable. But in your body, they harden arteries, restrict blood flow, and increase inflammation. You feel it in your knees, your calves, your hips. You feel it every time you get up slower than you used to. And what about the artificial colors and smooth, shiny emulsifiers? They aren't just cosmetic. These compounds confuse your immune system, heighten systemic inflammation, and place a strain on your digestive health, further limiting your body's ability to absorb muscle-supporting nutrients. Does that mean you should never have cake again? Not at all. It means we get wiser with age. Try baking at home with whole grain flours, honey, or maple syrup, olive oil instead of margarine. Add nuts for protein. Use berries for sweetness. These changes don't just recreate the taste, you elevate the value. You transform dessert from a setback into a celebration of health. Speaking of things that feel harmless, let's turn to a household staple that hides in plain sight: processed cheese. Those individually wrapped slices, the creamy spreads in jars, the cheese-flavored snacks that melt in your mouth. They're marketed as easy and tasty, but your legs may tell a different story. These ultra-processed cheeses are typically packed with sodium-saturated fats and something many people overlook: phosphates. Phosphates are used to extend shelf life, but they interfere with your body's ability to absorb calcium and magnesium, two minerals that directly impact muscle contraction, balance, and energy. When those minerals aren't absorbed properly, the result is cramping muscle twitches, stiffness, and general fatigue. And just like processed meats, processed cheeses contribute to dehydration and poor circulation. You might notice that after a grilled cheese sandwich, your fingers swell or your ankles feel tight. It's not just the bread, it's the cheese too. So what should you do? You don't need to cut out cheese altogether. Just upgrade it. Choose real cheeses, fresh ricotta, cottage cheese, or modest amounts of aged varieties like Parmesan or cheddar. These contain real protein, essential nutrients, and far fewer harmful additives. Your legs deserve better than salt-in stabilizers. And now imagine it's a warm summer afternoon. You've just finished a chore. You feel like treating yourself, so you reach into the freezer and scoop out some ice cream. One scoop becomes two. The sweetness, the coolness, it's the reward you feel you've earned. But what if that treat is quietly chipping away at your mobility? That's what we'll explore next. Because as comforting as it seems, ice cream comes with hidden dangers, ones that affect far more than your waistline. It's time we look beneath the surface of our habits and ask, is this fueling my strength or draining it? Picking up from where we left off, where sugar, fat, and additives have slowly chipped away at strength, let's now continue unfolding the everyday foods that feel comforting, but may be silently sabotaging your legs. Not all sweet indulgences are created equal, and commercial ice cream is one of the most deceptive. Yes, it may come in that colorful carton with the smiling cow or cheerful font, and yes, it might bring back warm memories of summer afternoons, but store-bought ice cream, especially the kinds packed with artificial ingredients and added sugars, can do more harm than most people imagine. It tastes like happiness, but inside your body, it acts like a thief. When you eat ice cream loaded with added sugars, your blood sugar levels spike dramatically. This forces your body into a scramble, pumping out insulin to control the surge. But what follows is an energy crash. Your muscles are left undernourished, your energy flatlines, and your strength dips without warning. Over time, this roller coaster damages the very muscle fibers that help you walk, stand, and stay steady on your feet. The fats in most commercial ice creams are no better. Many are saturated fats, and worse, some are hydrogenated oils or trans fats known to inflame your blood vessels and stiffen your circulation. The result? Poor blood flow to your lower extremities, which means your muscles receive less oxygen, fewer nutrients, and heal more slowly. If you've ever noticed tingling in your calves, sudden leg cramps at night, or a general heavy, sluggish feeling after eating certain treats, that's not just a coincidence. That's a sign, a signal from your body that something's off. So what can you do? You don't have to swear off ice cream forever, but consider homemade frozen yogurt with natural fruit, or small servings of low-sugar, dairy-free alternatives made with coconut or almond milk. Your muscles deserve fuel, not confusion. Let's shift to another sweet indulgence that often hides in plain sight: milk chocolate. We've all seen those shiny wrappers at the checkout line. They're sweet, nostalgic, and often marketed as comfort food or a little treat to lift your mood. And while cocoa itself has real health benefits, especially for circulation and inflammation, most commercial milk chocolates contain very little cocoa at all. Instead, they're packed with refined sugar, powdered milk, and processed fats. It's this combination that sends your blood sugar soaring, spikes your insulin, and then leaves your muscles in the lurch. You might feel tired before you even begin your walk. Your legs might feel heavy after just one flight of stairs. That's the cost of these blood sugar imbalances repeated day after day. So next time you crave chocolate, look for one with at least 70% cocoa content. Real dark chocolate in moderation can actually support healthy blood flow and even reduce inflammation. Now open your pantry. What's waiting in those cans? Canned soups, canned meats, even canned vegetables. They may seem convenient, and in some ways they are, but it's what's added to those cans that matters. To preserve shelf life and flavor, manufacturers add sodium benzoates, nitrates, and sometimes all three. These compounds trigger inflammation, contribute to bloating, and deplete the minerals your muscles desperately need. Magnesium and potassium, for example, are essential for muscle contractions, nerve function, and hydration. But too much sodium and too many preservatives interfere with your body's ability to absorb them properly. And if your pantry includes cans lined with aluminum, there's another concern over time. Aluminum can accumulate in the body and impair nerve signaling to muscles, making your legs feel uncoordinated, shaky, or weak. So, what's the better option? Go fresh when you can, or stock up on frozen vegetables with no added salt. Even better, batch, cook your own soups and freeze them for later. Your legs will feel the difference. Let's move on to what hides in the snack drawer: filled cookies and ultra-processed industrial snacks. They may seem harmless, especially in small quantities, but these ultra-processed treats are loaded with trans fats, artificial dyes, and preservatives. That chemical cocktail doesn't just excite your taste buds, it inflames your joints, clogs your circulation, and starves your muscles of oxygen. The result? Legs that feel slow, joints that ache, and a body that no longer moves the way it used to. You don't need to give up snacking, but make the swap. Try a handful of almonds or walnuts, a piece of fresh fruit, or a slice of whole grain toast with almond butter. These snacks nourish your body, keep your energy stable, and protect the strength that keeps you moving. And just before we move into the biggest reveal, the 2 vitamins that might be hurting your legs instead of helping, let's revisit one more hidden villain, MSG. Monosodium glutamate is a flavor enhancer found in seasoning packets, frozen meals, meat stocks, canned soups, and more. While it makes food taste rich and savory, it can also interfere with neurotransmitters in the brain. That's a problem because those same neurotransmitters help control how your muscles contract and relax. Over time, MSG disrupts your energy metabolism and contributes to inflammation. If you've been feeling leg twitching, random stiffness, or that odd, shaky feeling after meals, MSG might be playing a role. You've come this far. You've looked through your pantry and fridge with new eyes. You've begun to recognize how the foods we once trusted, those we grew up with, might be slowly changing how our bodies function today. And now you're ready for the final piece of the puzzle, the 2 vitamins. Yes, vitamins that may be doing more harm than good to your leg strength. Ready to find out which ones they are? Let's continue. Picking up from where we left off, after exploring the foods quietly draining your leg strength, it's time to look in a place few would expect: the supplement cabinet. Vitamins, often praised as keys to longevity, can sometimes become part of the problem. You've probably had a few moments of clarity by now, recognizing how sugar-processed snacks or sodium-heavy foods might be impacting your energy and leg strength. But what if the very pills you take each morning, the ones you believe are protecting your health, are secretly contributing to your weakness? It might sound unbelievable, but it's true. Let's talk about the first surprise culprit, vitamin A. For decades, vitamin A has been hailed as a hero for vision, immune function, and even skin health. And yes, when taken in the right amount, it absolutely plays a vital role. But here's the twist. Once you pass age 60, your body becomes more sensitive to accumulation. And unlike many other vitamins, vitamin A is fat-soluble, which means your body doesn't just flush out the excess. Instead, it stores it in the liver, where it can quietly build up to toxic levels. This condition is called hypervitaminosis A, and one of its earliest warning signs is often overlooked: deep, unexplained muscle and joint pain, especially in the legs, hips, and lower back. You may find that simple activities, walking around the house, getting up from the couch, or going up a few steps, leave your legs aching, not because you're unfit, but because something's off deep in the muscle fibers themselves. Why does this happen? Excess vitamin A doesn't just sit quietly in the liver. It starts to interfere with your body's ability to absorb and use 2 other essential minerals, magnesium and calcium. These 2 work together to help your muscles contract and relax. Think of magnesium as the switch that allows your muscles to release tension, and calcium as the one that helps them engage and move. When those minerals are blocked or imbalanced, your muscles become stiff-tight and prone to cramps, twitching, and chronic fatigue. You may even notice shakiness in your legs when you stand too long or feel winded after short bursts of activity. Sound familiar? That's not aging. That's your body's way of signaling a deeper nutritional imbalance. What's even more concerning is that high doses of vitamin A can impair ATP production, the molecule your muscles rely on for energy. It's like removing fuel from your gas tank and wondering why the car sputters. So even if you haven't done much physical activity, your legs might feel drained, your muscles weak, and your energy missing in action. So where is all this extra vitamin A coming from? The answer may lie in your supplements. Many multivitamins targeted at seniors include high doses of vitamin A, often in the form of retinol, retinol palmitate, or retinol acetate synthetic versions that are more easily stored and accumulated. And then there's cod liver oil, once a household staple, which delivers a concentrated hit of vitamin A in every spoonful. And here's the kicker. Your body stores this vitamin, which means even if you stop taking it today, the effects can linger for weeks or even months. That's why it's so critical to stay within the recommended 900 micrograms per day for adults over 60. Anything more should only be taken under a doctor's supervision. But don't worry, this doesn't mean cutting out vitamin A entirely. You still need it. The key is balance and natural sources. Instead of synthetic supplements, aim to get vitamin A from whole foods that come packaged with fiber water and other nutrients that help your body absorb and regulate them properly. Great choices include sweet potatoes, naturally rich in beta-carotene, a precursor to vitamin A that your body converts as needed. Carrots, the classic eye health booster full of antioxidants that don't overwhelm your system. Dark leafy greens, such as spinach and kale when cooked, which deliver steady, manageable doses. Eggs, a complete protein with vitamin A in a natural, bioavailable form. So what's the next step? First, check the labels on your supplements. Look closely. If you're taking a multivitamin cod liver oil or any individual vitamin A product calculate the total daily dose. Are you consistently getting more than 900 mcg? Are those doses coming from retinol-based sources rather than food-derived ones? Second, talk to your doctor. If you've been feeling unusually sore, tired, or sluggish, especially in your legs or hips, it's worth discussing whether your vitamin A intake might be part of the problem. And finally, consider simplifying your supplement routine. More isn't always better, especially when it comes to fat-soluble vitamins. By shifting toward food-first strategies and sticking to clean, regulated doses, you give your body exactly what it needs without pushing it into stress. But vitamin A isn't the only one hiding in your cabinet. There's one more vitamin, perhaps even more surprising, that could be weakening your legs each day without you realizing. A vitamin many people are told to take for heart, health, immunity, and bone strength. Yet when used without balance, it can contribute to calcium buildup in places where it doesn't belong, like your arteries and joints. Stay tuned, because what comes next could be the most important supplement advice you hear this year. Let's continue where we left off, because the next hidden culprit behind weakening legs might just catch you off guard. Brace yourself, because the second vitamin on our list isn't some obscure compound. It's one you've probably trusted for years: vitamin E. Most people know vitamin E as a helpful antioxidant. It's often praised for protecting your cells from oxidative damage, supporting cardiovascular health, and even keeping your skin soft and youthful. You'll see it in face creams, wellness blogs, and supplement shelves across the country. But what if I told you there's another side to this so-called miracle vitamin 1 that very few people talk about, especially when it comes to aging muscles? Vitamin E is fat-soluble. That means, unlike water-soluble vitamins like C or B complex that your body flushes out daily, vitamin E gets stored in your fat tissues. And over time, especially if you're taking it every day in high doses, it begins to accumulate. And that's where the trouble begins. Excess vitamin E can quietly interfere with blood clotting, slow down muscle repair, and impair your body's natural recovery process after physical effort. But the most concerning effect, it may actually weaken your muscle strength and increase your risk of falling. Yes, you heard that right. Several studies have shown that large doses of vitamin E, especially from supplements, not food, can reduce physical performance in older adults. Most notably, it affects the legs. It can delay your muscles' response to strain or effort. It can interfere with coordination, which means slower reaction times. And when you do get a strain or injury, it might take longer to heal. What's even more troubling is that high doses of vitamin E may interfere with the way your body uses other essential nutrients, especially vitamin K. That's a big deal because vitamin K is critical for joint integrity and bone strength. Without enough of it, your bones may grow brittle and your joints may ache more than usual. So, how does this all start? Often it begins with good intentions. You buy a bottle of supplements thinking you're doing your body a favor, but look at the label. Many vitamin E capsules contain 400 IU or more, sometimes over 1000% of what your body actually needs daily. For older adults, the recommended intake is just 15 milligrams per day, about 22 IU. That's it. Not 400, not 800, just 22. Yet millions of people take these megadoses daily for years without realizing what's happening under the surface. You might notice you're more tired after walking the same route you've walked for years. You might feel soreness after a short stroll or even getting out of a chair. Your balance might seem just a little off, but nothing you can quite put your finger on. So you assume, well, that's just aging. But is it? What if the real reason is that the vitamin meant to help you is silently sabotaging your strength? This doesn't mean vitamin E is bad, not at all. Like vitamin A, it has a rightful place in your health when taken in proper amounts and in the right form. But when it's overused, isolated from food, and taken without medical supervision, it can become a hidden threat, one that chips away at your mobility, your confidence, and your ability to stay independent. So, here's a simple step you can take right now. Check your supplements. Flip the bottle over. Look at the dosage. If you're taking more than 22 IU of vitamin E daily without a doctor's guidance, it might be time to reconsider. And instead of relying on pills, turn to real food. Nature has a way of balancing nutrients perfectly. Almonds, sunflower seeds, spinach, avocados, These are rich sources of vitamin E, but they come wrapped in fiber minerals and other plant compounds that support your body as a whole, rather than overwhelm it. Let's get something straight. Weak legs are not always just a symptom of getting older. More often, they're a reflection of chronic inflammation, poor circulation, poor nutrition, and yes, supplement overload. Everything you put in your body matters. Every capsule, every bite, every sip, they all shape how you feel, how you move, and how well you age. So if you've been feeling a little off, if your legs feel unsteady, if stairs seem steeper than before, or if you're just not bouncing back the way you used to, this might be your body's way of waving a red flag. It's asking you to take a closer look. Look at your labels. Cut back on high-dose synthetic vitamins unless prescribed. Fill your plate with anti-inflammatory muscle-supporting foods, dark, leafy greens, olive oil, berries, whole grains, and fatty fish like salmon or sardines. Drink more water, move your body every day, even if it's just a gentle walk or stretching session, and quietly begin phasing out the sugary, deep-fried, ultra-processed foods that do nothing but rob your muscles of vitality. You were not meant to shuffle through your later years, afraid of falling, unsure of your own balance. You are meant to move, to dance, to walk tall with steady steps and a light heart. And while it may feel like it's too late to reverse the damage, let me assure you, it never is. Each step you take toward restoring balance in your body is a step toward reclaiming the life you deserve. So far, we've learned that leg weakness isn't just about age, it's a message from within. But what do we do with that message once we hear it? If anything we've discussed has struck a chord with you, if you saw pieces of your own life in these stories, it means you're paying attention. And that's the most important step. Let's take a breath together, a slow, deep breath. Now let's reflect on what we've uncovered. You now understand that leg weakness after 60 isn't simply a symptom of aging. It's often your body's way of signaling that something is out of balance nutritionally, physically, or metabolically. It's a red flag that too often gets ignored or misattributed to just getting older. We've walked through how certain comfort foods, those sugary treats, crispy fried snacks, overly processed, deli meats, and shelf-stable meals don't just add empty calories. They quietly steal from your strength, little by little, bite by bite. They fuel inflammation, weaken circulation, and rob your muscles of the nutrients they need to thrive. Even more startling, some of the very vitamins we reach for to stay healthy might be doing more harm than good if we're not careful. Take vitamin A in the right amount. It supports vision, immunity, and tissue repair. But when it accumulates in excess, as it easily can, it quietly builds up in the liver and soft tissues, contributing to inflammation, fatigue, even muscle cramps and soreness. Then there's vitamin E. We think of it as a protector and antioxidant, but when over-supplemented, it can interfere with muscle recovery coordination and even your sense of balance. It's not the vitamin itself that's dangerous. It's the dose, the duration, and how it's being used without guidance. Both A and E are crucial when taken appropriately, but when pushed too far, they become silent saboteurs of your strength. This isn't about scaring you. It's about informing you. It's about returning power to your hands so that every decision you make going forward is grounded in awareness, not assumption. So, where do you begin? Start by looking inward at your daily routine, not just your supplement bottles, but everything that enters your body. Check the labels on your multivitamin or standalone supplements. How much vitamin A is in there? Is it synthetic or natural? What about vitamin E? Are you taking 4 IU or more? Are you unknowingly stacking doses through fortified cereals, nutrition bars, or energy drinks? If anything looks high, or if you're unsure, pause. Don't panic. Just reassess. And when in doubt, consult your physician or pharmacist. Let them guide you based on your body's actual needs, not marketing promises. Next, take a gentle audit of your kitchen. Open the pantry. What do you see? Instant noodles. Bright-colored breakfast cereals, packaged snack cakes with expiration dates 2 years away, processed meats sealed in vacuum packs. These foods may be convenient, but many are laced with sugars, refined oils, preservatives, and additives like MSG that disrupt your body's natural healing rhythm. But this isn't about throwing everything out overnight. It's about beginning. Start small. Replace one processed snack with a handful of nuts. Swap a sugary breakfast for a bowl of oatmeal topped with berries. Choose olive oil instead of margarine. Grill your chicken instead of frying it. Every swap is a step in the right direction. Prioritize foods that reduce inflammation, support circulation, and nourish muscle tissue leafy greens like kale and spinach. Fatty fish like salmon and mackerel berries packed with antioxidants. Legumes rich in fiber and whole grains that fuel your energy levels. Because your legs, they do so much more than carry you. They are your independence. Your ability to move freely, to rise from a chair without help, to chase after your grandchild, to take that walk at sunset, to kneel in the garden you love. What would your day feel like if you didn't dread the stairs? If you didn't hesitate before reaching for something on the bottom shelf? If a trip to the market no longer felt like a burden, but a joy? That kind of life isn't a fantasy. It's absolutely possible, but it doesn't start with some magical pill. It starts with the little choices you make every single day. You don't need perfection. You need persistence. You need patience. And most of all, you need belief. Belief that even now, even at this stage, your body can change. It can become stronger. It can become more resilient. It can regain what feels lost. And we see that happening every single day. Not in glossy ads or celebrity testimonials, but in real people just like you. In men and women in their 60s, 70s, even 80s, who are reversing muscle loss, rebuilding strength, and finding freedom in motion again. Not through expensive treatments, not through extreme diets, but through knowledge, intention, and the simple willingness to begin. You've come this far, and now you understand your legs aren't just limbs. They're your foundation, your freedom, your future. So if anything in this video resonated with you, even just one insight, don't keep it to yourself. Someone close to you may be quietly struggling. Maybe it's your spouse, your sister, your neighbor, or an old friend from church. They might be wondering why their legs feel weaker, why stairs suddenly seem steeper, why they feel more tired than usual, even after a good night's rest. Maybe they've chalked it up to just getting older. But what if this video is the missing link? The truth they didn't even know they needed? Take a moment and share it. Because when we share wisdom, we don't just pass along information, we pass along hope. And if you haven't yet, now's the time to join us. Hit that subscribe button and become part of something bigger, a growing community, right here on Life After 60 Today. This isn't just a health channel, this is a movement that believes aging is not the end, it's an evolution. Every week, we bring you practical tips rooted in science, real stories that inspire, and gentle reminders that your best days are still being written. Whether it's improving your balance, strengthening your muscles, or just feeling a little more like yourself again, we're here for it. Because you are not broken, you are not slowing down, you are still becoming. Your legs carry more than your body. They carry your independence, your dignity, and the moments still waiting for you. Dancing barefoot in the kitchen, walking hand in hand with a grandchild, stepping out into the world with energy, purpose, and grace. So, protect them, nourish them with good food, strengthen them with gentle movement, honor them with rest, with awareness, and with love, and walk forward into this next chapter of life not with fear, but with confidence, not with hesitation, but with hope, not with pain, but with power. Because after 60, you still have so much life to live, and at life. After 60, today we're walking that path with you, one strong, steady, joyful step at a time.